Okay, so before we finish today, would anyone like to ask any question or share anything about their experience? Okay, take care, friends. Bye bye.
Very interesting, very interesting, very interesting.
I cannot blame on the action or the uncelibacy or the sex itself. So I think I try to distinct it into three parts for me, as I view it, is that the sexual crimes which involve sex is to do more with sadistic pleasure. It's with uh, creating or gaining pleasure from the pain and not just the physical sensation or something. That's the sadist part, and but that's not lust. That's the sexual things. I don't want to say the actual word, so I'm just saying sexual things, sexual crimes. Yeah. Then the lust is more so about wanting or desiring care or love, but you can end up having like a hookup with someone or one night stand, I don't know, whatever. But it's lust. You desire something, but once the sex is done, you would not feel that great because the person that you stayed with, had a amazing experience with, is no longer with you because it's one night stand. It's lust. It will be incomplete. You will become hypersexual, and you will go again and again. Again, here there is sex, but the how we are using this action of or the sex is with the intention. Okay, so now here it becomes lust, which is not so destroying, but it's sort of like coping for not finding an actual compassionate love. And then there is love or compassionate uncelibacy or sex, which two people can have, or I don't know, which people understand each other a lot, and they struggle and they suffer to give each other a great experience, and that is very fulfilling, and that stays for a long time, and that is even healing. I think the act of uncelibacy is really powerful to get to a person's soul, or it is a kind of a tool that can affect someone a lot, but how you use it, it also matters. So with the sexual crime, that person will use it for sadistic purpose. It's not lust again. And for people who are struggling with lust, it's for sort of like coping. They do not desire the lusty sex. It's more about wanting love. They're not whores or something. They want love in the end. And I see actual sexual things, which is I think it's good and compassionate where people struggle and suffer and do the sex and like under love or compassion. So that's how I see. And I do not blame the action itself, but the other things attached to it too.
What?
Thank
Sex is complicated. It's very complicated. What people actually like, there's a fine line between pleasure and pain. And ultimately, when it comes to what people actually want out of their sex life, for one, it's going to take a long time to figure that out, especially as a young person. But two, whatever kind of sex that a person wants, however, ordinary or strange, consent is what matters. And consistent consent, constant levels of communication. A lot of sex partners don't actually communicate their feelings. And that is worsened by the fact that a lot of people don't know how they actually feel to begin with. Especially young people getting out into the dating scene and having sex for the first time. There's a lot of uncertainty. It's very difficult and scary and isolating for a lot of people.
Yeah. It is.
Well, there's another way. There's another way to look at this as well, and that is a way of the animalistic tendencies and aspects of sex. That putting sex on a pedestal is just foolish, and nobody cares. You want to jerk off in your own mouth or whatever. Not to be vulgar, but whatever you want to do sexually. Yeah, it's like a pig. It's like a dog. It's like a cat. It's like a bear. It's like a goat. You fuck. You want to fuck. You want to feel pleasure. It's not creating all these books and all these programs and all these education systems about how to get your rocks off, and then figuring out, well, how do we teach high schoolers how to get their rocks off? Well, I'm sure they know just fine. Now, talking about something like consent is totally different, but we don't live in a society that values consent about anything. So now giving this value to consent, to sexuality, or to lust is just a misnomer. It's just confusing. Our society was built on consent is less important than profit. And our society continues to operate in that way, such as the data centers. It's 2026, okay? And these guys who are supposed to be the most well-informed, leftist, progressive, or whatever they're supposed to be, are just building massive data centers nearby a bunch of poor people's houses. And literally, they're so free to do this. The culture in the society is so complacent and passive in doing this that this guy's I watched the video. This guy's literally sitting outside of his house with a decibel meter, and it's ringing off. Like it sounds like you're nearby an airport jet that's going on. And so the current common consensus, and that's why I was talking about these political values and things, the current political consensus, social, political, reactionary consensus is so broken that we think anything's being done by going out and protesting against Trump. We are women and we don't like Trump. Nobody cares. Nobody really cares to that degree in our society anymore. The people that do care don't have the skills or the technology to do whatever work might be able to be done to make a big impact, period. The system is set up as such is that those people are just wailing at a wall. So what are we going to start an autonomous zone? We don't have the technology to start an autonomous zone. I don't care if you're the the best trans people that have ever existed. The social technology, the ethical, moral technology is not there to facilitate community spaces that operate as a refuge. We don't have the ability to communicate with one another in a practical, grounded way anymore, enough to do anything that's going to be just not a reaction to what the government or what the, these ultimate paradigms of greed that America operates under are doing. And so now you have all these people yelling and bothering the poor people that are just trying to get by, and maybe they'll get a little bit on the news, while all these people in the skyscrapers, all these wealthy people, and all these suburban people, they don't care. And it doesn't matter how much you go and yell and scream, you're not actually doing anything in a post-saturation, in a post-content saturation society. And now, very, very soon, we're going to be in a post-reality society, according to our senses, where what you see, what you hear is not true, is not inherently true. So you're losing this thing. To see it is to believe it. That's going away. And already, functionally has gone away because of the post-saturation of content. So I'm glad that it's nice that these people are doing it. I'm sure they're enjoying themselves, but there's not actually a real pathway to go to. That's not how politics works in America, right? It doesn't matter how many upvotes the Reddit post has. It doesn't actually get somebody elected. Now, you can see it in this vein of, okay, in 50 years, maybe we'll have 5 more socialist senators or something like that. But that's not what those people want to begin with. Yeah, it's disconnection, and it's misunderstanding, it's a lack of technology. That's not why these people are protesting. If they were protesting for the purpose or under the intention of, in 10 years, we're going to have 5 more left-leaning senators, then they wouldn't be going out there to protest. So there's so much disconnection in what people are doing, and they don't see the value in community structures that are actually empowered and empowering one another on the most basic level to meet each other's needs, which is what people actually need, not just economic needs, but social and psychological needs as well, to then make a big impact in these spaces, in a public space, to make a real protest, something like that go on, a real encampment, and to actually say something. Because when all these protests are happening, like what's going on in Portland, nobody's actually saying anything of value. They're just putting things out there, noise that somebody's going to agree with or disagree with. And as much as somebody's going to agree with it, they're going to use everything else that's going on there to support someone else not agreeing with it. And the cycle and the system is just going to continue. So that's why I see spiritual practice and a community practice as needing to have this revolutionary element that it simply, absolutely does not seem to have. And there's all this wasted energy because of that.
Yes. I have a different opinion. I have a completely different opinion about it. I think that the best thing to do is to focus on individuals and to focus locally. There are people.
I thought I need one, but that's actually not the problem. So if I would continue with the app, but I actually
okay, thank you.
didn't see so much need anymore to do things with apps. What I have now is good and helped a lot. If I would continue that, I could easily continue that also with a code editor. I'm used to working with that. I would probably get somebody. I would still, if in the community somebody would like to do that, to get the security audit then. So somebody checking if it's secure and everything. That I couldn't do. But I totally appreciate the fact that me as the person that needs something to be to just to get it done, I know what we need, so I can easily program that. But a full stack programmer or IT guy probably would have to make the security audits. So that's not the problem. It's more like these little things that, for instance, now the naming convention could be done better.
Okay. No,
it's just not I don't even know. It takes longer to explain it to someone than to do it myself. But there are so many little things that I could do myself that I'm overwhelmed with it.
Well, and like I said, that I think that ends up becoming a business question, not a technical question, right? Is the time of being overwhelmed stopping you? Because is your goal more money? Is your goal to scale? Are you enjoying learning these processes? And like I'm sure
Right.
Natalie has some questions because she's chatting about this, and this
Right.
is the important part: being an expert in AI.
You see, some of the people on this panel, like there's a bunch. This guy Jake Van Cleef. So it's amazing though. But the woman that's talking about her thing, she's just so amazing. Like the way she's speaking. Like it's about how it makes her. The work is not. Hold on. Yeah, Cobb, come in. Yeah, I'm okay. Doing a here on the computer. On the computer? What? Which one? Yeah, 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 of course, yes, yes. I've always had that fantasy. It's too adult for YouTube. I'll be right back. I'm gonna try to get some